the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart.
And one time. What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Aaron.
It's Brian. Salute.
And this is the Courtside View podcast, and we are back today. Before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell. I know we have a lot of new viewers, so check out the video, and if you like it, make sure to subscribe and help us out, because we definitely want to continue doing this for the immediate future, and so please help us out, and yeah, let's get to this video. All right, last topic of the day.
As if we haven't had enough suffering already.
So see,
back to the Commanders.
This is the last time we're gonna talk about the subject in terms of the coaching staff until probably the season or anything like that. So I want to grade the Commanders coaching staff. Now I have the list. I was gonna if I had the HDMI cord, I would have projected on the TV, but let's go here. So I just want to
kind of see these pixels.
So if not, you can go to Scott's Twitter.
Oh, okay.
He posted on there. So matter of fact, I may have bookmarked it on the Courtside View Twitter account, so you can go on that as well.
Yep, I see it.
So here's the deal. For the Commanders coaching staff, I think for me personally, the positions I'm really paying attention to is the offensive coordinator, it's the passing game coordinator, it's the offensive line, it's the quarterback's coach, it's the DB coach, it's the defensive coordinator, the linebackers coach, and the player development coach. So those are like the positions I'm really paying attention. I don't really care about the tight end or the assistant offensive line or offensive quality coach. I don't care about that stuff. Or the I don't really know much about defensive pass game coordinator. I mean, I don't know if you.
I'm not sure.
Defensive line coach. It's okay. Like they did hire Darryl Tapp, who was a really good player for the Commanders back in the day. So that's a huge hire. But just going down the list, obviously they hired Dan Quinn. You guys already know if you watched the past videos. I'm not really too fond of that hiring. We already talked about it. I know a lot of new viewers will watch this video and not know what I said, so the link is in the description if you want to go watch that and my reaction to Dan Quinn being hired as the head coach. I'm not too fond of that at all. Don't really know who the coaching chief or staff is. Don't really care. Player development. So this guy by the name of Pete. I don't even know how to say his last name. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. I looked at I researched, because people in the comments say I don't do research. I researched the player development coach. So when it comes to player development, pretty much like the job, it says it goes beyond the usual position drills or offensive and defensive schemes. It's about developing leadership skills, coachability skills, locker room management, and culture. That's pretty much what the player development coach is. So like I saw something where it's like the player development coach will have like one of the players, you sit down and watch film with them. That's one of the things that they do. And that's really what a player development coach, their job is to develop the player, improve the player. It might be, I don't know, it could be training. It could be whatever. That's really what the player development coach is. So the player development coach, this guy by the name of Pete, I'm not even going to try to say his last name, doesn't really have a big resume. He was with the Cowboys last year. He was the quality control defensive assistant for the Cowboys. He was a professional scout for the NFL for 2 years. And he was an actor for 24 years before that. So he doesn't really have a whole lot on his resume.
Interesting.
He is the player development coach, so I guess that isn't a huge big a deal, but I would have loved to have a little bit more on his resume. I mean, his first time with an NFL team was with the Cowboys last year, so he's still new to the NFL, per se, when it comes to being on teams. All right, let's go to the passing game coordinator. So there was a person in the comment section of the previous video who talked about Brian Johnson. It was like, oh, he was the QB coach for Jalen Hurts, and they played well. So what's the problem with him being the passing game coordinator when he was the QB coach for the Eagles and they played well? Totally different jobs. A QB coach, their job is to work on the QB's fundamentals, drills, etc. If the QB is complaining about something, if they want to vent, they're pretty much their therapist. That's what the QB coach
They
is.
also like on the sidelines, like games, they have like the pad, like let them know if they missed like a read or something, or what they see on
right.
So,
But passing game coordinator, which Brian Johnson will be this year, right? He is the guy that organizes the passing game from concepts, personnel, formations, based on every conceivable situation. Pretty much, he's the one. So, like the obviously the OC, if they're like a Kliff Kingsbury who pretty much has autonomy on the offense, they'll bring in their own scheme, what they want to do, and stuff like that, and then they'll communicate with the passing game coordinator, like, okay, this is what I like to do in the scheme, yada, 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 and they work together, and the passing game coordinator sort of dials up the routes and everything like that, and then I guarantee you that once the passing game coordinator dials up the routes, he goes talk to the OC, and the OC, he'll either approve it or deny it. I doubt he just dials up the routes and that's just it. Like they don't get it approved or anything like that. And see, that's where when I look at Brian Johnson with the Eagles, I'm saying to myself, he probably approved those routes. There's no way in hell the guy just drew it up and he was like, oh, that's he just like, all right, here's the routes and we're just gonna run that. Like, no, they had to go over it and like, okay, I like this, like that. And that's where I'm a bit I don't know how I feel about that hire. I don't like that hire at all because Brian Johnson was the OC and he had to approve certain route combinations for the Eagles for the passing game coordinator for the Eagles last year. And so now he's the passing game coordinator and Kliff Kingsbury is the OC. And what we saw from Kliff Kingsbury with the Cardinals wasn't that great. The offense will look good the first half of the season, and the second half of the season, teams will game plan better. They will watch a lot of film, and they will figure them out like that. And that's where I have my problems with the Kliff Kingsbury hire and the Brian Johnson hire, is because they both have gotten exposed in the past for their offenses, and so that's my problem. That's my gripe. I'll let you speak on Joe Witt because you have a bit more. You know a little bit more, but he has a lot of experience, which is good. I'm not even going to go to college. He was an assistant defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons in 2007. I'm not even going to go all the way back. He was with Green Bay.
Yeah, he was.
For 2009 to 2017, he was the cornerbacks coach. He was the passing game coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. We sucked that year. The Cleveland Browns, he was the passing game coordinator, secondary coach for the Cleveland Browns in 2019. I think they were good that year. I don't remember. But
the 1920 season or 1819?
It just says 2019, so I'm assuming
1920.
What year did they play the Chiefs in the playoffs?
The year where they beat the Steelers?
Yeah.
That was 2020.
So I'm because the playoffs is like in 2020. This was like the 2019 Cleveland Browns, but obviously the playoffs is like
the
next year.
year.
So I'm assuming that was probably a good year.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons, he was the passing game coordinator in 2020. They weren't that good that year. Dallas Cowboys, he was with them for the past 2 years.
Was he the linebackers coach?
He was the passing game coordinator / secondary coach.
Huh?
It says passing game coordinator / secondary.
For the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Al Harris was I thought he was the secondary coach.
Well, it says passing game coordinator / secondary. Well, I mean, maybe he
I believe Joe Witt was the linebackers coach, or yeah, I think he was the linebackers coach.
Well, regardless, that's what it is.
Either way,
it is.
I like Joe Witt. He was cool.
Yeah. So and then now he's the defensive coordinator.
I actually really like that hire because he was one of the guys I said, well, if we had to choose I thought if we was going to hire from within, I would just say, just hire Joe Witt and promote him as the DC. But we got Mike Zimmer, who I think is better anyway. So hey, I'll take it. Yeah, I like the Joe. Honestly,
that's probably
at
the
first,
best hire.
In like the first week or so, I really didn't like this coaching staff for the Commanders. I thought it was going to be a lot of foolishness, but given the circumstances and their top dude backing out like that, and then you look at Mike McDonald, he doesn't even have his staff filled out. He got hired before Dan Quinn, I believe. Mm-hmm. So based off what they had to work with, they did pretty well. And, and I really think it's because the 49ers guy, I forgot his name.
Peters.
Yeah, Adam Peters. I think he really helped in this process as far as, because people, it's 49ers. No, 49ers are a well-run organization. I might as well go coach. Like the Anthony Lynn hire, I like that. Veteran coach. Doesn't really have that, like he was, I thought Anthony Lynn was a defensive guy before.
He was. I mean, a lot of these coaches, like they went offense, they went defense. They were like secondary. Like Raheem Morris, he was I think he may have worked with the wide receivers in Atlanta. So like they do both because they want to have maybe they just want to have an understanding. Like that. Have an understanding of offense and defense. It would help for the
usually
resume.
if you understand defense, you could probably understand offense because you got a game plan against the offense. Right. But, so yeah, I mean. I'm not. But I heard bad things about Bobby Johnson.
Yeah,
the
Bobby
O-line
Johnson.
coach. I think he was the Giants O-line coach,
and the Bills.
Yeah, and their lines haven't. That line, Johnson line, was terrible. But they was good against the Commanders. So hey, maybe they liked what they saw. Kliff Kingsbury.
He's just not it for me, bro. He's just not it.
I'm iffy on him. I mean, I think he could. Maybe he's learned from his mistakes in the past. I don't know. David Blau was interesting. He was literally just a quarterback, but like, hey, salute. I mean, Kellen Moore, he was on that Kellen Moore trajectory. It looks like Bobby Ingram. I don't know too much about him. Brian Johnson, I'm still kind of head scratchy about that one. But yeah,
the DB coach Tommy Donatel. I'm not.
I don't know.
I looked at him too. He was with the Chargers and he was with the Seahawks. So 2017 to 2020, he was with the Seahawks. He was the defensive quality control coach. I don't know what they do. And then he went to the Chargers from 2021 to 2023. He was the assistant secondary coach, and then he became the defensive passing game coordinator for a Chargers team that went 5-12, and that was absolutely atrocious on defense. 2021, they were like 9-8. See, the thing with me is that he went to the Chargers. I don't think the defense was that good. I don't think when I remember Darwin James, he came out, he was just balling.
Then he kept getting hurt.
Now
he's cooked food.
I don't know how I feel about that hire as well. I'm not that confident because I'm looking at his resume, and it's not that impressive. When he went to the Seahawks, the defense wasn't that great. When he went to the Chargers, the defense wasn't that great. It was all right. The secondary was and he's a DB coach.
He's got his work cut out for him. I'll say that, because especially since you got to develop Emmanuel Forbes, and then Benjamin St-Juste. He was one of the worst corners in the league last year as far as yards allowed.
Yeah, and then the QB coach.
Kendall Fuller, we don't know if he'll be back. I think he's a free agent this year.
And then the QB coach, I'm looking at Tavita. He was, in terms of like, he doesn't really have a whole lot of experience in the NFL. I'm looking at just, he came from Stanford. He was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach. So he doesn't really have a whole lot of experience on the NFL level. So I'm a bit. I think he coached a straight Davis from college Mills. Guy? I think he coached Davis Mills. But that's about it. Yeah, he's pretty much a college guy, dude. Like I don't see. He doesn't really have a whole lot.
They are bringing in a college QB to come in. So who knows?
But the only quarterback that he's really been known for is Davis Mills.
No other QBs played at Stanford that made the league?
Even if they did, they weren't that good.
I will say, I do like the defensive side of the coaching staff a lot more than the offensive side.
I agree.
Because Joe Witt, I think that's a good hire. Ryan Kerrigan, Commanders legend. I like that.
Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah, Ken Norton Jr.
I like
John
that
Pagano. I heard good things about him too. Like you said, Daryl Tapp.
Yeah, Daryl Tapp as well. So they
George
have
Banco.
guys.
I heard about him too. Yeah.
They have dudes that know.
Sharif Floyd.
Yeah. It's just if
I
you're
like the
bringing in a
defensive
quarterback. My thing is you have to get the quarterback solidified, and I don't think this coaching staff on the offensive side gives me any confidence.
Now, I will admit, with the whole Brian Johnson, Jalen Hurts thing, I will admit the QBs available to them at that draft position are better than Jalen Hurts coming out. So maybe it's not going to be much of a developmental type thing. You're going to definitely going to have to develop Drake May, but I mean it could work out. Here's what I will say. As far as a grade, I will give the Commanders for what they had to go through.
C+.
I'm giving them a B.
A B?
I'm giving them a B.
A B?
Yes,
man,
a B.
you're being too nice.
You got to think about it like this, right? They pretty much had to tear it down top to bottom almost.
Okay, all right.
And they got it done within like a span of 3 weeks. That's pretty quick as far as coaching staffs go. Dan Quinn is a good coach, in my opinion. I don't think he's a guy that you'll win a championship with. He'll get you to the playoffs, as we've seen from his time in Atlanta.
Yeah, 2 playoff appearances.
He went to the playoffs.
Man.
And then he also...
We trying to compete.
You got to realize the franchise we're talking about here. With all due respect, making the playoffs for the Commanders is a big deal.
Man, we tired of just making to the playoffs. We want to compete every
Who is
year.
we? I'm not a fan. They want to make the playoffs.
I'm just speaking it from the fan point of view. Like, they are tired of just, we're going to make the playoffs 1 year, and then we're going to have a drought in like 3 years. Like, bro, they want to compete every year. That's the problem with this franchise, is that they'll have 1 year they make the playoffs with like 9 wins or 7 wins. Like, when they make the playoffs, they not even good for real. Like they one of them teams that are on the bubble. Like they get fortunate because their schedule is very favorable for them. Like they want to be contenders. When was the last time they were contenders?
The
90s?
I wasn't even a thought at that
91? That's the problem, bruh. And I'm not confident. Speaking on the offensive side, defensive side is okay. I like some of the hires, but the offensive side. Quarterback coach, never really coached an NFL level. The passing game coordinator, he wasn't good as an OC for the Eagles. Kliff Kingsbury, when he called play for the Cardinals, got exposed in the second half of the year every single time. Like, there was literally a trend of him second half of the year getting exposed.
November, December, yeah.
Exactly, and then, yeah, man, like, I mean, Anthony Lynn is okay, but he's the running back coach. Like, I'm not really looking at the running back coach that much. And then the offensive line coach.
They didn't even use the running backs like that.
And then the offensive line coach, Bobby Johnson. This is
cold world, still a cold world, and a couple of y'all is cool, but we a little more thorough. Whole time, a little more girls. You know I spit that sick shit and it's still no cure. Hold up, loud packs.